Today I'm going to go over Ghoti, or Ghoti. Just don't pronounce it like fish. That's just wrong. It is a single archetype all about banishing your cards to make sure you always have resources. You bring back your banished cards, you use them to banish each other, you bring them back to your graveyard. You kind of get the point. Let's go over the cards. To start with, we have Peace, Light of the Ghoti, a fish tuner. Level 2, you can banish this card you control. Special summon one fish monster from your hand, except a copy itself. And during the standby phase of the next turn, if this card is banished, you can just bring it back to your field. And finally, during your opponent's turn, if this card was special summoned this turn, you can quick sync into a fish synchro monster as long as you use this card as one of the materials. That's pretty cool. You get to bring it back, you can banish it to bring in a monster in your hand, then you get to summon it back during your opponent's turn, and then synchro into whatever you want. As long as it's fish, after all. So, Fairy of the Ghoti, another level 2 tuner. Also, all our monsters are water fish. I should probably have mentioned that. You can banish this card from your graveyard to target a fish monster you control, give it 500 attack into the end of the turn. It also brings itself back during the next standby phase and can quick sync during the turn it was summoned, as long as it is your opponent's turn. Then we have Zip, Ruby of the Ghoti, another level 2 tuner. You can banish this card from your hand to target one of your fish in your graveyard and banish it. During your opponent's turn, you can, if this card is banished currently, you can bring it back. And if this card is special summoned, you can sync into a fish synchro monster as long as you use this card as part of the material. Not the exact same as the two previous monsters, but different slightly. Kelp, Mark of the Ghoti. This time, level 2, but not a tuner. Interesting. If a fish monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can target one of those monsters and one... I'm just going to re-summarize this. If your opponent special summons, you can banish this and the monsters your opponent special summoned. To bring back one of your banished level 6 or lower fish monsters. And if this card, during the next standby phase, after this card was banished, you can special summon this card back. So, pretty much no downsides ever. You get to summon it out easily, you get to more summoning out, you get to get rid of a whole bunch of your opponent's monsters. Oops. You ink Oatmeal of the Ghoti. I know that's not how it's spelled or pronounced at all. I'm just trying to farm engagement. If a fish monster is banished, you can special summon this card from your hand. And during the standby phase, if this card was banished, you can target one of your Ghoti, draw cards that is banished or in the graveyard, set that target. Next, we have Eclair, Security of the Ghoti. If this card is normal special summoned, you can target one of your banished level 4 lower fish monsters. Special summon it in defense position, but negate its effects. You can banish one fish monster from your hand or face of field to add a Ghoti trap from your deck to your hand. So you can summon back one of your banished Ghotis, and you also get traps. Not bad. Then we have Squid, Shade of the Ghoti. During the main phase, you can banish 2 of your fish from your hand or graveyard to summon this from your hand. On summon, you can target one card in the field, either player's field, doesn't matter, and when that card leaves the field, it gets banished. Finally, you can banish a fish monster from your graveyard to add this card back from your banished. So you get on its own, it gets a pretty good loop. You get to summon it to your field, then you get to declare one card to get banished. Then when this card gets banished, you get to put back one of your banished Ghotis. Next, We got Price, Moonlight of the Ghoti. If these cards are normal special, you can add a fish from your deck to your hand. Except it goes itself, then banish a fish from your hand or face a field, which could just be itself, because if this card is banished, you can banish one fish monster from your hand. Graveyard, or face a field, except cover itself, and then special summon it. So, you get to add. You can re-summarize it as banishing one card from your graveyard to then add any card from your deck to your hand. That sounds amazing when you put it like that. Oops. Time for the synchro monsters. Apocalypse, Serpent of the Ghoti, a level 6 synchro monster. Takes generic materials. If this card is synchro summoned, you can banish one level 6 or lower fish from your deck. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can target a fish in your graveyard, banish that target, then you can add a fish monster with an equal or lower level from your deck to your hand. So banish something from your graveyard and add something else to your hand just by using this as synchro material. Nothing bad about it. Next we have the Barracuda of the Ghoti. It has a target one of your monsters, fish monsters, and one of your opponent's cards to banish both of them. It's a Scrap Dragon, I think? Yes, Scrap Dragon type effect. If this card is banished, you can banish one of your fish from your graveyard to special summon this card. So, in other words, you can banish one card from your graveyard to banish one card from your one's field. It doesn't matter if it's a monster, spell, or trap. It's just gone. It doesn't matter where it is, as long as it's on their field. And although it still targets. We do, in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community, like to pretend like if an effect targets, it automatically becomes worse, but not everything has targeting protection, and especially not your opponent's field spells. Then we have Grim, Spear of the Ghoti. It is a level 8. Takes generic materials at the start of the damage step. If this card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster. What is it? DD Warrior Lady kind of effect. During your opponent's standby phase, you can banish this card to summon back the materials used for its summon, but banish those materials when they leave the field. Although, one thing to note, just in case you weren't aware of this, if a card is to be declared to be banished when it leaves the field, if you use it as single material, it will get banished. For fusion, for sending it to the graveyard, banished. However, if you use it for Xyz material, it still goes under the Xyz monster. Now we have Ghoti at the Deep Beyond, a level 10 boss monster. It takes one or more fish tuner, meaning you can use multiple tuners for this card summon, plus one or more non-tuners. Its original attack is 500 multiplied by the number of banished monsters. That includes your opponent's monsters, by the way. If this card is synchro summoned during your opponent's turn, you can banish everything on the field. Yes, that includes your cards. Yes, that's everything. Spells, traps, face down, face up, doesn't matter. Everything is gone. And if you use this when your opponent's already extended all of their resources, they're gone. They're not doing anything for this turn. But you're probably thinking, you have no resources, except this card brings those back during the next standby phase. So, it gets back a massive beat stick that gets to hit your opponent, has no resources on board, and you get a bunch of extra cards because you like banishing. Anyway, that was the last for the single monsters. It's time for our only spell, the most deepest depths. While you control a fish synchro, this card can't be destroyed or banished, which includes this. You can only use each of the following of... You can banish one fish monster from your hand or graveyard to add a Ghoti from your deck to your hand. That's a hard wins per turn. And as a separate hard wins per turn, if a fish monster is normal special summoned while this card is in the graveyard, you can target one fish you control, banish it, and if you do, add this to your hand. It does suck it has to be a monster you control, but it's fine. Ghoti Chain. Oh, I wasn't saying the card's fine. Oh, the card's actually pretty important. It gets you a bunch of resources. Ghoti Chain. A time for our trap cards. You can banish a fish monster you control to special summon one Ghoti that is banished or in your hand, deck, or graveyard. Well, with a different original name from the monster banished to activate this card, but banish when it leaves the field. You can activate one of these per turn. That is insane. You can pretty much summon any Ghoti from anywhere, except the extra deck. And I guess if your single monster wasn't properly summoned, it also wouldn't be allowed to get summoned by this effect. But that's still pretty insane that you get to summon pretty much any Ghoti from anywhere. And all of the cost of a face-up fish monster you control is a trap card, so if your opponent's about to destroy one of your cards, you can just switch it out for a new card. Now, Ghoti Cosmos. You get to apply effects based on the number of banished fish. Your opponent's probably... Now, it does work for your opponent's fish as well, but your opponent's probably not having any banished fish. I don't expect you to play a mirror match. If you have one or more, so pretty much if you're playing the deck, your fish can't be destroyed by battle. If you have 4 or more, which isn't the easiest thing to do, but if you go through a combo, it will probably happen. You can activate the effect of fish monsters. The activation of fish monsters can't be negated. If you 8 or more, you can special a fish synchro from your extra deck. This is considered to be a synchro 7. Wow. So, if you want to put a little effort into getting a bunch of your fish banished, but 8 is a lot for this deck. Your normal combos, you're probably not getting through 8, I think, from what I remember. So, but if you do get through 8, then you get a massive boost. And don't forget, it is considered to be synchro summoning, so if you Ghoti of the Deep Beyond. Now, Ghoti Fury, a continuous trap. You can target 1 fish you control and 1 monster your opponent controls. Banish both of those monsters until the next standby phase. If a fish monster is special summoned to your field, well, any card is banished, you can banish this card from your graveyard, or your face-up spawn target zone. All fish monsters currently in control in 100 attack for every banished card. That is a lot of extra attack. So you can first banish, you can get rid of the threatening things on your opponent's field, and then boost everything up. The deck, all in all, is all about, you have a lot of resources to deal with. You have cards that can get you resources, you have ways to, if you used a resource already, you get your resource back. However, what do you do with all these resources? Because in Archetype, all you got is Ghoti of the Deep Beyond. That's all you get. And hopefully that's enough. If you go out of Archetype, you can, White Aura Archetype? No matter what you do, it's not really going to do what you want. You will have resources forever, as long as you don't stop doing your combos. But you will not have the best things to do with it. And yes, just having a bunch of resources can win you a game on its own. However, you usually need something to do with those resources. Well, that'll be it for this video. Make sure you tap that subscribe button and figure out and complain down below in the comments about something I messed up in this video, because, come on, do it, please. That'll be it for this video. Good luck next time.